Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to talk to you all about something somewhat personal, but definitely interesting and necessary. We're going to talk a little bit about financial literacy with our youth. Just by a raise of hands, how many of us have at least one credit card? And how many of us have household bills? Last question, how many of us have children? Well, I personally have 3 children, 3 credit cards, and a whole lot of bills. I was going through my bills the other day and I was just thinking that I don't want my children to have to go through the stresses of finances and figuring it out and pulling from here to pay this. Ideally, I think we all want our children to have great careers and make bundles of money, but I've realized that being financial savvy is a lot more than just making a lot of money. So I had to ask myself this question: what have I done to help my children learn about money? Although they each have a bank account, some CDs, and a few savings bonds, I haven't really gone through and explained to them finances, even what money is and what it represents. I read an article in Forbes and it stated that parents do a great job teaching children good manners, how to be safe, how to make their beds, and how to be culturally savvy. And this was from Mary Hunt, a personal finance expert for Forbes. But so very often, parents neglect the most important thing of all: how to prepare them to be financially astute. Today, I'm going to take a moment to help you be able to start that conversation with your children. I have a few examples that I want to give you, some tips, and in today's society, financial literacy is necessary. Financial literacy is essential for today's youth. Only 5% of adults say that they've learned about vital life skills of money management in elementary school or high school. Let's stop right there. I have an elementary school student and a high school child. And that's where it all begins. If we can teach our children how to understand, respect, and manage money at a young age, it'll be a whole different world. A back-to-school survey finds that only 5% of our kids learn vital life skills of money management in class. And this was back in August 2007. 81% of parents feel it is their responsibility to teach children about money and savings, while 51% of children give their children allowance, but only 4 require them to deposit it into a bank account. 28% of children have used online banking to see their saving account balance. That's big, because in today's society, everything's online. Everything. It's on your phone, you have an app for it, you can log in wherever you are. That's a necessary component to this whole financial literacy world. So as parents, I feel it's our responsibility as adults, it's our duty to inform the next generation on how to manage their money and how to be successful at it. So here's a few tips to start the conversation. Keep it real. It's not appropriate, and we all know, to start talking about the Standard & Poor or any kind of stock exchange or your retirement plan to a kindergartner. And truthfully, not many high school students are going to be able to follow that type of language. Just keep it simple. Make it real to them. All of our children should have a bank account. They should also have something at home, whether it's a money box, a piggy bank, where they can save money that they just get offhand. Allowances, change on the ground, change going through your purse, because my children go through my purse. Try to give your children an allowance on a regular basis. Now, I don't personally do it on a weekly basis, But I do it at like the time of service. I'll say, my older child might watch my younger two. I'll pay him for babysitting, things like that. With that allowance, let them save some, let them spend some, and see if they'll give some to charity or to church or tithings. This gives them 3 different points of view on how to manage their money. If they choose to spend it on chips and cookies or on a random toy that's going to break once they walk out the door, let them learn that lesson. Because it's not going to happen too many times. Once they have their own money, they're not willing to just buy something wasteful that didn't pan out the first time they bought it. But they need to learn that lesson, just like you did. Another example is to let our children, our older children, figure out what the tip would be at a restaurant. Now I like to leave at least 20% if it's great service. So that's an easy mathematical equation, but it also teaches them to be able to figure out that percentage and to understand, maybe you want to give a little more because they were really great at what they did. And also let the children, this is where the younger children, they can figure out how much change you're supposed to get back. The grocery store, buying groceries. A lot of us slide debit cards. Some items you might pay for cash. Let them get that change and count it for you. Another tip is to demonstrate by example and let your children see how you successfully manage your money. Now, all of us have bills. I know some people that are perfect at it. I'm not one of those people, but I do have some successes. Let them open the bills to see how much the light bill is or how much your gasoline costs on a monthly basis. Explain credit card statements to them. Show them what interest is. If you carry over a balance, you're going to pay this much in interest versus if you pay it off each month. Credit is tricky. Most adults are still learning credit, but this will give them an opportunity to have a head up. Explain the traps of borrowing, using credit, or getting a loan versus banking, using only your cash that you have in the bank. Credit investment is another key point that you want to point out to your children. This is important. This will give them the opportunity to learn some key basic elements that many adults don't have yet. Once you've hit some of those, you want to make sure that you celebrate the successes. This is important. Children learn by example. They also learn by celebrating what they've done properly, just like any adult would. Encourage savings. Create personal budgets. Let your teens that have jobs create a budget just so they can see what it is for having an income and an expense. You all in your packets have a budget that you can use. This budget is just a sample budget. It's a household budget. It doesn't have to be this high tech. You could have 5 key points that you want to point out, but you want to include the income and the expenses. These are some simple tools that I think would help you that would help your child learn how to be financially savvy in today's world. It's important to start early. I wish you all good luck.